In ancient Israel, a time of chaos and despair had fallen upon the land. The Midianites, a cruel and oppressive enemy, were ravaging the people. They destroyed crops, stole livestock, and left the Israelites impoverished and hiding in fear. For 7 long years, the Israelites cried out to God for deliverance. Amid this turmoil, God sought a leader to save his people. But he didn't choose a warrior or a king. Instead, he chose Gideon, a simple man who saw himself as insignificant. Gideon's story is one of overcoming insecurity, trusting God, and stepping into a purpose far greater than he ever imagined. We first meet Gideon hiding in a winepress, threshing wheat in secret to protect it from the Midianites. It's here that an angel of the Lord appears, addressing him with an unexpected greeting. "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Judges 6:12. Gideon, startled and doubtful, questioned the angel. "Pardon me, my lord," Gideon replied, "but if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Where are all his wonders that our ancestors told us about?" Judges 6:13. Gideon's response is relatable. Like many of us, he wondered why God seemed absent during hard times. But God's answer was direct. "Go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Am I not sending you?" Judges 6:14. Even with this assurance, Gideon doubted himself. He protested, saying he was the weakest member of his family from the least important tribe. But God saw beyond Gideon's insecurities. "I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive." Judges 6:16. Despite this promise, Gideon wasn't ready to step out in faith. He asked for a sign to confirm God's call. Gideon prepared an offering, and as he placed it on a rock, fire consumed it, a miraculous sign of God's presence. Still hesitant, Gideon requested another sign. He laid out a fleece, asking God to make it wet with dew while keeping the surrounding ground dry. When God fulfilled this request, Gideon reversed it, asking for the fleece to remain dry while the ground was wet. Both times God answered. These moments remind us that God is patient with our doubts. He meets us where we are, giving us the reassurance we need to trust him. Finally convinced, Gideon gathered an army to fight the Midianites. But God had another lesson to teach. Victory would not come through human strength. The initial army of 32,000 men was too large. God instructed Gideon to reduce the number, and through a series of tests, the army was reduced to just 300 men. "With the 300 men that lapped, I will save you and give the Midianites into your hands." Judges 7:7. Imagine the fear and uncertainty Gideon must have felt, but he obeyed, trusting that God's power would be enough. The battle plan was unconventional. Armed with torches, roers, and trumpets, Gideon's small army surrounded the massive Midianite camp at night. At a signal, they smashed the jars, revealing the torches, blew the trumpets, and shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." Judges 7:20. The Midianites, caught off guard and terrified, turned on each other in confusion and fled. God delivered Israel without Gideon's men needing to wield their swords. After the victory, the people wanted to make Gideon their king, but Gideon humbly refused, saying, "I will not rule over you, nor will my son. The Lord will rule over you." Judges 8:23. However, Gideon's story doesn't end perfectly. Later in life, he made choices that led to spiritual complacency in Israel, reminding us that even great leaders must stay vigilant in their faith. Gideon's journey from fear to faith shows us that God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. When Gideon stepped out despite his doubts, God used him to accomplish the impossible. Are you feeling inadequate or unsure about your purpose? Remember, God sees your potential even when you don't. Like Gideon, we can trust God to work through our weaknesses and lead us to a purpose greater than we ever imagined. If this message inspired you, leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe for more inspirational Bible stories and lessons. Thank you for watching.